Hi everyone, my name is Dima and welcome to muaythai.nl. Today we're talking about growth hacking and the amazing effects that tea has on you, your body and your mind. But before we start, I think you'll definitely enjoy checking out our site and club if you haven't done so yet. I'm in the club right now and our tea club is on the Rozengracht 92H in Amsterdam, and it's a place you can experience 130 different teas sourced directly from 13 countries and from each farmer. So we don't do wholesalers, we've only sourced it without a middleman. And we also have a big collection of unique teaware. So if you can't make it, you can also check out our website muaythai.nl, and we ship internationally. And now without further ado, let's explore the effects of tea. Let's start off with the main question. Is tea different from coffee or even mate, which is a popular drink in Argentina, Brazil, among other countries? The last two drinks are mainly known for their energy boosting effect, so it's like a bit jittery, and we all know how that feels with coffee. Well, you know, and then you'll have to take another one. And tea is very different from those plants because of its unique chemical composition. The effects of good tea can be very wide. They can be energizing, focusing, calming, relaxing. It all depends on which type of tea you drink and how your body reacts to it. There is no 100% guaranteed effect, as our bodies are all very different, and tea works in a much more complex way than straight hitting coffee. But when you find that a tea or category works for you in a certain way, it's not likely to change, and you'll most probably achieve a stable effect. And by the way, an important distinction to make is you sadly won't get that out of some tea dust like Flipwick and Pipton, so that's important to say. Let's advance onto the effects now. What many people will notice is that with teas like the pu-erhs and green teas as well as oolongs, you get an influx of energy, which can be mental but also physical. And it may not be the kind of energy you're used to, as it's not quite comparable to coffee, and there's also much less addiction involved. So GABA oolongs, on the other hand, can introduce a whole different vibe. They contain GABA, which is Gamma Amino Buteric Acid, which is also naturally contained in your brain. It's a neurotransmitter which manages mood and has anti-anxiety effects, and these are also the teas we have standing here. And when you drink this tea, many people experience something commonly called a calm focus. But that's just not just feeling relaxed, it's really a feeling that gets introduced to you by this tea. So you feel relaxed but focused at the same time, like you're zen, but also think fast and are able to put those thoughts into words. And that makes this tea great for drinking together with friends, because it really opens you up for conversation and feels very different than drinking some beers on the couch or wine, which can actually make it and make you the evening a bit drowsy or boozy. And a very cool example is when we host our tea ceremonies in our clubs, many people have reported feeling zen. Well, great, but what really stuck with us is that we've noticed a trend in people, you maybe have guessed it, with ADHD. For the first time in a while, feel really calm, like their thoughts just stopped racing. And that effect of GABA teas is really cool, and definitely doesn't only work for people with ADHD. So let's talk about other ways tea makes you grow as a person. The tea ceremony itself, as you can see here, it's a great possibility to train your patience and ability to focus, as you will be fully engaged and present while making the tea, right? And I can also start making some GABA tea right now to describe a bit of its flavors and to show you how to do the tea ceremony. So we'll start by actually caring about the teaware, as we first need to warm that up. So you'll see me first pouring into the teapot, which is used to infuse the tea. And then we pour some hot water into the gonglobe, which is used to divide the tea between the different cups. As if you wouldn't use a gonglobe and would go straight into the cup, you would actually have a very light infusion here and a stronger one here, right? You don't really want that, sadly. So this is something we can use to even those out. After the first infusion, we go on to the first wash. And of course, we also honor our tea pet, which is actually also a mythical creature, which is often associated with some kind of belief, or even some kind of ability. So like lions, for example, are loyal, bears are for friendship, and you have more stuff like that. Almost every teapot has an association. Right now we'll be drinking our amazing arishang, and I'll also show it to the camera. Hope we're able to catch a great shot here. And this is a tea which is quite flowery and amazing to drink, especially on the morning like it is right now. So I'm going to infuse this, and I'm going to skip the wash because it's quite easy to imagine how it looks like, and then we'll return with the tea already in the cup. And now we're back with the second infusion, which is actually the first, because we don't count the first. This is just to wash the tea so that it opens up a little and actually gets everything going. As you can see here, the tea that you just saw, like the little leaves have completely opened up, and now they're super big. So it's an enjoyment that's not only physical as you taste and smell the tea, but it's also basically mental and mindful whenever you make all of this, because it's an active process. You really have to be involved in it completely. And also, for example, when you make tea for friends, you also put all your attention into that. So it's quite a mindful and basically meditative process, and for many people this is easier than yoga, because it's easier to think only about one thing instead of not thinking about anything at all. Well, don't take myself too seriously, it's not a yoga guru, but that's how I feel about it. However, yoga is an amazing method to relax and come to your inner peace. This is just something else that you can practice, basically, as it's also an art. The Gongfucha is basically the art of tea, and what we do here is Gongfucha, which is otherwise also called tea with attention, because this also improves your possibility to focus and your patience, as you will be fully engaged and present while you do this, basically. So it's an amazing way to grow, even personally, you know. And I've also seen myself changed when I started drinking this tea and started doing this ceremony. I also do it at home, and it's great. Really would recommend it to everyone. And even if you don't have a chaban, you just do it, you can just do it with one of the teapots, which I'll show you in a second. We also have made a video about them, which will allow you to brew it the Gongfu way, and you'll still get this feeling of focus and involvement. But I would really advise making this tea with the multiple infusions method. So you have actually two methods: the Western style, where you just put this in the tea bag or in a little tea egg and let it steep for 2 to 3 minutes with a small tea amount. And you also have the Gongfu way, which is basically everything in which you do multiple steeps. And with a tea like this, with a great alishang, you can do, for example, 10 to 12 steeps if you do it from teapot to gonglobe, or even if you use one of our smaller teapots. And you'll feel it more, and you'll also experience it more, especially if you use smaller cups. So this gives you a better way to energize compared to coffee, especially if you take into account it's also less addictive. And now I'll show you the little teapots I'm talking to you about. So here are the teapots I wanted to show you. We have a couple of different sizes. One is 500 milliliters, the other one is 350, and this one is 300. And they are great for different uses. For example, this is nice to have at your office or take to your office, or for example also infuse at home whenever you're thinking that you're going to serve a lot of guests. You can easily make up pretty big amount of tea in here. And these two are amazing as a portable kind of travel teapot, and maybe you don't even know how you can use them, so I'm going to quickly explain it right now. You see that this is a little bucket, but this is not just an ordinary bucket. It has a little valve at the bottom, so whenever you put tea in it, around 5 to 6 grams, as you would with a usual teapot or gawan, maybe even 7, you would actually fill it with water, wait for 15 seconds or 10 or 5 depending on the tea, and press this button, the most important button in Chinese tea culture. And after that it just flows down into this little beaker, and which actually replaces the gonglobe. And after that you can distribute it between small cups to fully enjoy the multi-leveled approach, basically, when you experience the different depths of flavor and aroma in different infusions. So it's a great little neat invention, and I do really recommend it because you do not really need a chaban and a teapot and everything to fully enjoy tea, right? So this is more of a ceremony, and still it has a lot of added value, but you can also do without. With that being said, that's all. I would really love to thank you for watching, and also really recommend you take a look at our site, because it's a unique collection of teaware and teas that you will not find anywhere else in Europe or the world, only in Muay Thai Russia, but that's not Europe. And also check out our Instagram, and please subscribe if you like this content, because we will be making much more of it. If you have any questions, you can also post it down in the comments, or for example on our Instagram in the DMs. This was Dima. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.